Oh, I didn't know. I just thought it was finished there. And if you feel the need to purchase that, there's a box set which I think is 12 Bad Manners CDs. You probably, if you need that many, you probably know where to get it in the first place. www.badmanners.net is the place that you can purchase that. That's from their rock album. The box set is like there's one about fat women, I think, and there's a CD about drinking. And that's from the rock one. I'm Mark Lamarr, sitting for Jonathan Ross. Mark Steele's still here, and probably I'd say, Sheffield's greatest songwriter is in the building now. There's a lot of competition for Sheffield, though, isn't there? You've got your Heaven 17, your ABC, and...
Jarvis.
Yeah.
Jarvis Cutler, of course.
Barry Cornelius. Don't know if you know him. He's a local songwriter.
No. What would he be known for? Well, he wouldn't be known, I suppose.
He's not... Answer. Well, he's in our pub.
Right.
And what's his greatest song?
Can't remember. Hey,
so he's probably not as good as the others then.
I've got a bone to pick with Mark Steele. Because I did a show and he was on before me, obviously, and he was on. He was on too long, kept me waiting.
No, that's never happened.
And wife at home, she had a jar of Piccalilli that needed the lid taken off. I wanted to get home, but anyway, it's all right. It's in the past, Mark.
How long in the past was that then?
10 years.
Oh, yeah, going back. Was it?
Yeah. But anyway...
Well, it's good to have closure on these sort of things, though, sometimes.
Yes, it is. It's in the past.
Because it's bristled for quite some time.
Yeah. You've got my jacket on.
Yeah.
Very similar.
So what have you been up to anyway, John? We haven't seen you... Well, we haven't heard you on this show for a couple of years, probably.
I've been up to absolutely nothing, Mark.
That would be why.
Well, tell a lie. I moved my bed round last week. Just first time in 15 years. Just rotated at 90 degrees. And I'll tell you what, it was fantastic. Woke up in the morning... didn't know where I was, felt like I was on holiday. Mary felt the same. And it's taken years off us.
The whole bed, not just sometimes some people rotate the mattress at, certain points of the year.
You trying to be funny, lad?
No, that's what people do. So the bed's always even.
I thought you meant did I just move the bed and not the mattress?
No, I didn't mean that. I meant so your bed is in a whole new position in the bedroom.
That's right. 90 degrees, Mark.
That's a nice idea for people who've got nothing to do this afternoon.
Well, it was fine for a while, but obviously now it's beginning to wane, the excitement. So we've discussed moving it again. But it's not going to work, is it? Because not enough period has elapsed. Another 15 years must elapse before the same impact. Do you know what I mean? Possibly.
And also you've got to work out your life expectancy and realise you can only do it another 2 times for it to be effective.
Well, that's why we're going to do it in about 6 years.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Move something different. Move a table.
Not the same.
You'd still wake up and know where you were with the table.
Unless you sleep on the table.
There's all sorts of options.
There certainly is. So apart from that, you haven't really been... You must have been performing.
Well, I've got a new radio series out, which you're obviously not going to talk about, so I will. It's called The Shuttleworth. It's out on...
I was trying to get you into it, but you wanted to talk about...
Radio 4, starting next week.
The feng shui of your bedroom.
Yeah, and that's on...
On Thursday at 11:15pm.
Yes, that's right. And I'm also going to be doing a tour, and I shall, April and May, going to various venues. I'll let you discuss that.
OK.
It's all about security. Pillar of the community. Should have been pillar of the community, but there was a typing error on the programme. We decided couldn't afford to have a rerun, so we've had to stay with that. But basically, I've become a voluntary warden, Mark, for a block of sheltered housing.
Right.
And I have to go around and check that doors are secure and everything, and also check that people's remotes are working for the TVs. Because if you're bedridden and you haven't got a remote, you're going to spend all day watching makeover programmes. You might want to be watching racing, or vice versa. Do you know what I mean? There's also a lady who is mentally disturbed. I have to take her to the vets with a budgie. This hasn't happened yet, but apparently she lets the budgie fly out of the cage. I've got to stop her. So I look forward to that. But yeah, Mark, can I see your key fob, please?
Yes.
Your keys?
All right.
Just a little experiment. Just want to...
I don't know where they are.
You haven't got them, lad.
I've got them somewhere.
Well, if you don't know where your keys are, you...
That sounds like a George Formby song. If you don't know where your keys are, you're jiggered.
I think it was. Now look, as I thought, you've no torch for night vision.
Oh well, no. Actually, on the car key thing there, I think there is a little light. It doesn't work. I'll give you that.
And where's your personal panic button? For security.
I'm fairly stable.
Yeah.
I don't tend to have one. Is this something you've learnt during the warden period?
Yeah. Do you trouble lock your property?
Do I trouble? I do, yes.
Yeah, because some people don't, because it's stiff. But if so, let me know and I'll come round and make it all right. So, yeah,
Okay.
we're going to have video cameras on stage.
I'll bear that in mind.
We're going to have video cameras on the audience in case of troublemakers.
Do you get much trouble at your shows?
No, I don't. No, keep everything
So
in order.
this might be a bit of wasted expense for you.
Well, I'm going to have one on the stage door in case a special guest arrives. Yeah, because Brian Appleton, he might be coming.
Right.
And somebody called Dave Tordoff. Do you know Dave?
No.
No, I don't, but he's going to be... he's going to be doing fine. He wants to get into after dinner speaking.
Do you have no say about who's allowed on your tour?
Yes, I do. But, well, no, with Brian Appleton, I don't. He's on the tour because we borrow his mic stand. That's the only reason, Mark. I don't like him. Is it misanthropic?
He seems a little bitter.
Yeah.
Do you know Brian Appleton? He's
Yeah, I've heard him, yeah.
He claims, and he may be right, that he's written pretty much every great pop song of all time. But he doesn't sound like a happy man at all, does he?
No. Do you want my song?
Well,
or do you want to go to something else
It
first?
depends. We've got 50 seconds before the news. How long is it?
It's more than that, lad.
OK, well, what we'll do is maybe after the news.
All right.
It might be... Or
If we were being really daring, you could do it as backing to the news.
yeah,
Well,
I think I'd have to clear that with certain people first of all.
Yes.
And they'd say no. Well, we've
The
got
latest
time...
on the weapons inspectors and then that in the background.
Why don't we have the first 30 seconds? Because I know you like a good intro to a song.
Right, well, the intro is like this. Like in Jury, the blockheads, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like that.
You see, now we've got people in the mood.
Disaffected youth.
And there's not really any time for any
No,
more of
all
that
right.
at the moment. But now we've got people in the mood, and people might have thought, well, sometimes the news comes on and they think, 12 o'clock, I'll go out, I've got things to do. But that ain't going to happen now. 88 to 91 FM, this is Radio 2 from the BBC. 10 years old. Hey, that's my new Radio 2 catchphrase. Hey, you wouldn't
Does seem like it, does it?
Would you believe it, eh? There you go, that was Pulp with Babies.
All right, well, here we are. Darren Nichols from Southborough in Kent has sent in saying, the reason for Hitler disliking George Formby, see, I knew I'd sort of got in the right area, but I knew also that I was wrong. He sorted it. The reason for Hitler disliking George Formby might have been due to his dislike of the ukulele. It is, however, more likely due to George being the #1 act with the Russian soldiers in 1944. To cap it all, and this is the bit was lurking in the back of my mind, Joe Stalin was president of the George Formby fan club.
Wow.
And then he says, comically, I suspect a connection between the ukulele and mass genocide. Maybe Stalin used to write off little fan letters saying, I suggest you have a 5-year plan of how you're going to improve
And at the end,
catchphrase
after
production
the
by
5-year
35%.
plan has come to its end, turn down nice again, which is a lovely Stalinist catchphrase.
Well, I don't suppose
I'm
people
not sure
said
I
that so
believe
much.
that Stalin was the...
No, that is true. That
Is
is
it?
true. Yeah, that is what I was looking at, yeah. And I don't know if people used to say it maybe in the kulaks when they'd all been wiped out, 10 million of them, just to try and sort of perk themselves up. They went, turned out nice again in the Ukraine.
Well, it reminds me, it is the final line in A Day in the Life of Ivan Denisovich. It is, turned out nice again, which you wouldn't suspect from reading the rest of it. Anyway, let's get back to...
But he was anti-Stalin.
I know, that was...
That is the flaw in the joke.
Well, that was the purpose of the joke in the first place. It's about a very bad day in his life. He obviously wouldn't have said that.
Oh, cool, you're double bluffing us all with your postmodern anti-Stalinist irony.
A joke ceases
Never
to
used
be
to
a
get
joke.
that.
Once it's been told it's not a joke, is it? Anyway,
never
let's
used to get that on Radio 2.
However, I hope some of you enjoyed it at least. We've got John Shuttleworth in, and it's churlish to discuss George Formby for too long. Well, he's here. Were you a fan of George Formby?
I was indeed. And it's funny you should mention him. I noticed on my way in there's a young lass struggling with the ukulele.
That was Sam Brown who was
it?
earlier on, yeah.
I don't know her, but I know her dad, obviously. And she's a fool, if you don't mind me saying, because, well, I said to her, I said, love what you're doing, because you should get a keyboard. See, I've got ukulele, number 40. That doesn't sound very realistic, though, does it?
Not really. It doesn't sound anything like a ukulele.
No, maybe she's not such a fool after all.
You pressed the right button there.
Well,
I can't believe that's
It's rubbish, isn't it? Hang on. Yeah, number 4. Maybe you have to play it in... No, it's not good at all. Oh, hang on. That's a bit better. I'm leaning on...
No, I think she made the right decision there.
Yeah.
What's the maddest one have you got there? Have you got sort of like pig and things like that?
Well, musical saw. With portamento. But it's a bit frightening for daytime listening.
Have you ever used that in a song? I bet you have.
Oh, yes, very much so.
I suspect you've used them all over the years, haven't you?
I can use it on one I'm going to play shortly.
I'm looking forward to hearing it. I want to know a bit more about the new series, because the series will obviously catch up on what's been happening in your life since the last series.
Yeah.
And it's not just going to be about you moving your bed around, is it? So what else has been happening in the Shuttleworth house?
Well, what's been happening? I mean, not much really, Mark. And I think...
How many shows are there?
There's 6. Right. Yeah. There's one's called Coffee in the Loft, which is about when I went up to take a bag of items at Mary. She'd done a clear out, you know. Mary's my wife, dinner lady at a local primary school. A colleague is Joan Chitty, yeah, who qualified as a physio. That's by the way, because she's not a physio at all, she's a dinner lady. Anyway, when I was up in the loft, I heard a digital alarm go off, and I realised it was my digital clock. My watch from 2 years ago. Mary had put it up in the loft, and it was calling me to come for tea, but I couldn't locate it, so I had to keep going back, and then it stopped, of course, and it was time for me tea, obviously, because we have tea at 5 o'clock. Though it used to be at 5:15, but you have tea earlier as you get older, don't you? So anyway, so the show's about me going up every day to find the watch, but the next day, my daughter Karen's Tamagotchi goes off because it needs feeding. So that blocked out the sound. Very complicated plot, actually.
Well, I wouldn't dare ask what happened at the end, because that would...
No, obviously I'm not going to tell you, Mark.
So much spoil it. Is that the first show?
It is the first show,
OK,
yes.
and that's on Thursday 13th at 11:15 p.m.
So has it been
on Radio
affected
4.
at all by the success of the Osbournes? Do people sort of come more people come into it expecting it to be a sort of Radio 4 version of that, do you think?
I don't know, Mark.
Have you seen the Osbournes at all, Jim?
I have, and I like his hair. Ken went to see Iron Maiden recently, said they all had short hair. Is that right?
I don't know, but you wouldn't want that, would you?
Or Black Sabbath, somebody, one of those old groups, was very disappointed. It wasn't that short, it was like sort of Melvin Bragg, that sort of length. Nondescript, you've got to have it very short, with a baseball cap and an earring.
But yours is sort of Melvin Braggy sort of length, isn't it?
Hey.
Is it not? I can't see very well.
Well, if we're going to start talking about hair, Mark, where's your quiff gone? Because we loved that.
It was of an era, wasn't it?
It was
really
lovely, though.
Yeah,
you know, it was a fashion statement. It was a nice gimmick. It's like Carter, Unstoppable Sex Machine. He had that strand.
Oh, yeah.
Nice idea, worked well.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you ever had a gimmick, an outstanding, show thing that you do?
Well, I punch the air.
Of course.
People like that.
Yeah.
Michael Ball, he does that as well. I notice young Gareth. He has too much hair gel on, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And he flicks his head from side to side. I'm worried that young lasses in the front row are going to get it in the eye. You know what I mean?
That's always a worry at a Gareth Gates gig.
Yeah.
People have said
but
that
Will,
before.
he doesn't have quite so much in. He's slightly unkempt appearance. Like yourself, if you don't mind me saying. You're not very well groomed.
No, I'm not.
You're unshaven.
No, it was radio, and I thought I'd be okay.
Well,
I thought it wouldn't be mentioned.
You should dress for radio.
I shall next time. I promise.
Sorry, Mark.
You have actually, though. You are in the classic Shuttleworth attire.
I am. Without me coat, because Mark's got it on. Well, it looks like you have.
Yeah, was it originally a sort of Sheffield attire, this I'm wearing, you think?
I think it is, yes. Well, Jarvis, he's from Sheffield, he wears one like that, doesn't he?
It is a very Shuttleworth coat you've got.
And what about Prince Nassim? Is he sort of becoming the most prominent Sheffield celebrity now? It must be...
apart from Barry Cornelius.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you want to hear my song, or?
Yes, I was just about to ask you to do that. And it's about something we were discussing earlier on in the programme, disaffected youth.
Yes, because I see them loitering, and they could be causing crime.
What about your kids? Have they been at all disaffected?
No, they're good lads. Well, one of them is,
yeah.
Because the other's a girl, Karen. She's at Catering College, technology, food technology.
Any interest in music?
She likes Puff Daddy and that sort of thing, you know. My son Darren, he likes playing snooker.
Right.
He works in Victoria Wine still. Augustus Barnett have tried to poach him, but it's not happening, you know. He's happy where he is. But he wants to be a snooker player, and he's got the cunning and the guile and the intelligence to become one. I'm backing him up to the hilt on that. But...
so they haven't been disaffected?
Yeah.
So the song's not about
I don't
them.
want to play that one. I want to play a quick snatch of another one.
OK.
Which is about when Darren left home, which is also in the radio series. Can I play that one? It's quite short.
Yes, you can, yeah.
Because it's unfinished. But it goes like this, hang on.
Shall I adjust that for you?
Oh, yeah, thank you. Darren's leaving home, but he won't be alone. He's moving into Plonker's bedsit. Two lads on their own, whither will they roam at night when the neon lights are all lit? Does it give me a big attraction, Mark? You know? I'm sure it won't be far, just to a local bar, though they'd just get some cans in if they had nous. Later on, my hunches, they'll get the munchies and call on their way home at the kebab house. And that's when trouble could start. There could be a fracas develop, you know. But, you know, hope it doesn't happen.
That really is unfinished, that one, isn't it? You didn't even know it was coming yourself.
There's a third verse, but I can't remember the words.
Oh, OK, I'm guessing, I haven't got all the details of the scenario, but Plonker, that's the nickname of the bloke he's moving with.
It is indeed.
Is that what he calls him, or is that just your name for him?
No, his nickname is Plonker. He's very happy with that. He says, call me Plonker, Mr Shuttleworth. His name's Lee, really. He bought a widescreen telly in time for the World Cup, but it wasn't widescreen, it was normal format, just very big, but he was a bit drunk when he bought it, you know. And I think the lady in the shop was a bit intimidated. She just kept nodding to all his questions, so he's got a great big telly in his bedsit. But he loves it, he watches it all the time, he enjoys his sport.
Well, you know? I still want to, and you've done a very showbiz thing, said, I'm going to do Disaffected Youth. Oh, no, I won't do it now. But so we'll hear it in a minute. We'll play another track first, and then we'll do that, and then we'll give out some of the tour dates and stuff. I'm going to play a track by the Beatles. You must be a fan of those.
Indeed I am. Preferred Ringo Starr on his own, though.
Don't worry, that was the masterworks, of course.
Yeah, he was much better on his own.
I think the other three dragged him down.
I think they did.
A little bit, but this is, unfortunately, I haven't got any with me, so we're going to have to go for something from Rubber Soul. This is all four of them on the word. I was thinking for a second they're from Sheffield, but they're not. They're from Manchester, aren't they? Simply Red.
They are indeed.
The other side.
Yeah. I couldn't help overhearing that trail, Mark. Are you doing anything for comic relief? Well,
that was it. I was just publicising it there. That was as much as I felt I could really put into the event.
Have you got to do in the pub?
No, I haven't. I want to do something, but nobody's asking me.
Well, surely as a warden you could arrange something in the home. Is
it a red nose on the budgie? Something like that, on the budgie's beak.
The thing is, I've been put off because a few years ago I was dressed as a yeoman, and I was on cable telly, and a group of firemen were in front of us. They had a bigger cheque than us, so I wasn't seen, you know, but I got splashed by some water, and the point is, Mark, the costume was hired. So it's, you know, it's put me off.
A bigger cheque financially or physically?
Both.
Oh,
yeah. That's
your double whammy there. If they had a bigger cheque but it was for less money, they would have allowed you to stand in front of it. I think that's the rule.
I think you're right, but it was £2.31 more.
Right. Where do you have to make the big cheque yourself?
I don't know. I'm not on the administrative side.
Oh, okay,
I'm a performer, Mark.
Yeah, I know. I pushed the questioning too far. So, speaking of performance, you are doing a very, very long tour. When you do tours, you do them for a long time, don't you? Is this to get out of the house?
Yes.
Right.
Well, no, hey, Mary's listening.
All right. No, it's not then.
Well, you know, it's just otherwise I forget all the songs. You know, if I do them once every month or something, I have to rehearse the songs too much.
Yeah, we have seen that.
And I can't do that in the lounge because there's spillage from the headphones. Interferes with the telly. So, you know, I'd rather get on the road. Let Mary get on with her life.
OK, let me give out some of the dates. It's a long old tour, all for April and May, starting in Glasgow on the 1st of April, then there's Salford on the 5th, and I won't give them all out, but there's 2 months' worth. There's Oxford on the 27th of April, and then in May there's Liverpool and Scarborough, pretty much every town. Cambridge on the 21st, Shepherd's Bush Empire in London on the 23rd, and ends up in Jersey at the Opera House. That must be quite a prestigious gig for you, John.
I think it is. And
you prefer the seaside gigs?
I haven't done many. I did one with Blackpool once with Mark Lamarr. Do you remember?
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, very well.
Yeah, you didn't go down too well, did you?
Not particularly. It wasn't really my crowd. It was very much more your crowd, wasn't it? Was it a British Legion or something?
It was something like that.
Yeah.
And I seem to remember you were stopped in your tracks by an opera singer.
Someone stood up I don't know if you ever had this as a heckle, Mark. Someone stood up and started singing opera, and it was quite phenomenal. I mean, I'd had a lot of heckles already in the evening, and then this old fella, and he was a pretty old fella, wasn't he? I guess he was in his 70s. Yeah. And voice as clear as a bell just went, oh! Yeah. And there's, you've got comebacks to virtually everything.
But
But
not
when
that
they
one.
start getting
But not
Rigoletto
to
on your
Aida.
ass,
Yeah.
you're ruined.
I've never seen you stumped for words before, Mark. But
I was really, because I
you
didn't
were
know
speechless.
if I'd known the next line. If they'd done it with a pop song, I would have had something to come back with. But it didn't even. It could have been from any opera. It really was. Oh, and he was obviously this particular British Legion's favoured opera singer. He obviously gets up every now and again and does this. So they were all probably thinking.
But he even gets up and does it in other people's shows.
I think it was probably necessary to do it during my part of the show there. If you want more dates on the tour, by the way, you can check it out on a website, which I can't believe you have. Do you run it yourself?
Ken runs it.
Of course, yeah.
Ken Worthington.
www.shuttleworths.co.uk. I can't really read the information.
You could have done a harmony, Mark.
Well, I could, yeah.
But why didn't you do that?
John, that was about at least 10 years ago, maybe longer. And the very fact that you've now thought of what I could have done as a heckle comeback is why I didn't do it at the time. You need when someone heckles you with opera, you need a good 10 years to think of a comeback.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what song he was doing.
Well, if I told
If
you...
he went, figure it off, I would have gone, figure it off, and we would have been working together, but it didn't work.
If I told you at the time, it would have been another heckle, wouldn't it? Because I'd have been shouting out, sing a harmony.
In many ways, a helpful heckle is a bad heckle. Let's hear this disaffected youth song, John.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, Disaffected Youth, which makes good use of that musical song number 98.
If at any point I go, oh, it's not going well.
All right. And the fun rhythm, that'll creep in,
All right.
if I can remember.
Someone told me this week that when you to make... Oh,
Sorry, go on.
No, carry on.
No.
That when, to make a saw musical, you have to grind all the teeth off. So, you know, you can either have a musical saw or a saw that can cut wood.
Oh, so you can't have both.
You can't have both. Just a bit of information while you were setting up.
But John doesn't need that, of course.
Just put it on the
I'd rather have
piano.
a saw that works.
Like
nice
people
tannin
with
saw.
like people with ukuleles, idiots when you can get it all on there. I'm guessing because that does sound like a good musical saw there.
Keep starting on its own. There we go.
Oh, sorry, not yet.
Disaffected youth, unkempt and uncouth, showing old folk no respect, damaging equipment at the wreck, he's a pain in society's neck, that disaffected youth, disaffected youth. Later, Mark. Surly and aloof, dropping litter everywhere, changing the colour of the air, turning it blue, Mark. You know what I mean? Oh, that disaffected youth. How now, young madam, stop turning into a bad un. How now, young laddo, stop lurking in the shadows, or you may find one day that you're a swinging from the gallows. Even though they've banned it, you know, they might bring it back. I'm sitting on the fence on that one. Which, of course, you shouldn't do. You shouldn't sit on a fence. It can damage... They're not designed for sitting. Oh, hang on. Disaffected youth. Oh, you throw me now.
Sorry.
Disaffected youth on a garage roof. When asked to give full name and address, he don't comply with my request. Just bares his teeth and beats his chest. Oh, that disaffected youth. Oof, there goes my proof. Oh, those disaffected youths. Oh, it's collapsed at the end, but never mind.
It often happens. I did think the saw effect was particularly on the guillotine line. Yeah, it was particularly apt.
Yeah. It was,
Not only was it creepy, but
it was
got
eerie.
That
It was
cutting
reminded me
edge,
of
metaphor.
Ghost Town, the specials, that sort of eerie quality.
It was a little bit like
It's
that.
the same
yeah.
chord, apparently.
But
Anyway,
they didn't think to use the sword.
Did you like
did they?
it? I'd like to
I
go
liked it,
again on
yes.
that because I made a couple of mistakes. Can I go again on that one?
Are there other verses?
No.
No, then
We'll
no.
leave it at that.
Then no, okay. But if people want to see you live, and sometimes that happens live, doesn't it? Of course, sometimes.
Of course it does.
You make mistakes and you have
Yeah,
to
we're
do
all human.
The entire song again, and that might happen on the tour. There are many dates to choose from. Pretty much, I'm guessing, most of the major towns in the UK.
That's right.
Will be covered. And as I said, Shuttleworth.co.uk is the website, and I'll mention some more.
I'm playing Louth in Lincolnshire.
That was one of the ones
near Sutton-on-Sea, where Ken has a chalet.
Okay, and Buxton, the Opera House. There's a lot of opera houses. Is that why? Is that why you put loads of opera houses, just so you can remind me of this despicable
Or is it that you
incident
knew
many
this
years ago?
bloke all along, and you got him to do the heckle?
He's not the bloke, the Dan Threppleton or whatever you were mentioning earlier.
Larry Cornelius.
No, the other one, the one who's coming on tour.
Brian Appleton.
No, the other fellow.
Oh, Dave Tordoff.
Dave Tordoff. He's not the one who just comes on.
No, Dave's a businessman. He's on 28k. He's doing very, very well.
Oh, okay.
He's got Triumph Bonneville in his garage.
So 3 acts then.
You are?
3 acts on
Apparently,
the show.
yes. We'll see.
It'll be like an old gala variety style
I've
performance.
got a burglar alarm on stage as well, in case the people try and storm the stage. It's going to set off the alarm.
And again, has this ever happened?
And I've got a carbon monoxide meter as well, and it should register note at all times. But I've been rehearsing, I look at it and I get disappointed. It looks like an answer machine with no messages. You know what I mean? You can get a bit sad. But I must overcome that.
You know what would be nice? Once they're on, if they have come on stage, the burglar alarm's off.
Yes.
But you'll sort of notice them being there anyway.
And I'll have them on camera.
But what are you going to do then? I think a stun gun. I would like to see John with a stun gun.
No, that's silly, lad.
Well, it's not
You
at
don't
all.
want a stun gun.
Well, you've got a burglar alarm.
It's
if they're coming
illegal.
on, it may be illegal, but they're entering your territory. As Keith Richards said, if they come onto my area, I mow the mother down.
Yeah, I think you should venture into this sort of gangster rap culture a little bit.
Well, just a stun gun. It doesn't hurt anyone, does it?
You're speaking language I don't understand now.
Okay.
It'd be a Shuttleworth drive-by, wouldn't it?
And anyway, John is on tour throughout many months, and is on Radio 4 this Thursday. The new series starts at 11:15 p.m. John, it's been as usual.
It's been lovely.
It's been educational.
Yeah.
And a trip down memory lane, and also a look forward to the future.
Me too, Mark. Thanks very much.
There you go. This is a track by a band I'm very fond of. I don't know if you've heard these before. They're called The Muffs. Anyway.